Somebody built themselves a castle out here. It's got guard dogs and everything. That's a cool castle. It's right here, lakeside. Living the high life. Welcome back to Soulmates Reviews. I'm very excited about this episode because I get to test a shoe from Puma. I've never run in Puma before, but they're coming at us with the Deviate Nitro. Part of the reason I'm so excited is because of the category. This is a max cushion, neutral, long run shoe with a carbon plate. So there's a few carbon plate shoes already on the market. This is Puma's take on one. They're calling their technology Innoplate, and you can see it actually there through the midsole, which is kind of cool. The idea is that this carbon plate sits in the midsole and acts like a lever to give you more spring and energy through the toe off. At the same time, it's got a nice thick stack height to protect the legs on those long runs. The rest of the upper looks like it was designed to be lightweight. The heel collar is pretty streamlined. It's not overly puffy or luxurious, but there is some nice specific padding right where the ankle bone sits. So that's kind of cool. The heel counter is nice and flexible, which also saves weight rather than having like a rigid cupping material there. And then the rest of the upper is a cool breathable mesh, which is nice and lightweight. Should be good as we move into spring and summer too. And then there's a piece of technology here in the heel that Puma's calling a spoiler. It looks like a stabilizer of sorts. What else? Oh, there is quite a bit of rubber on the outsole, which should protect the integrity of this foam. And Puma's calling their foam Nitro. I believe it's a nitrogen bubble infused foam, which gives it quite a bit of bounce and energy as well. So there's a lot of reasons to be excited this week. Because it's a long run shoe, I am going to do a 10K, a half marathon, and then a 20, maybe a 20 plus mile run in this shoe, just because that's where it lives in the long run category. So what else? Oh, it's got a 38 millimeter stack height in the heel, 30 millimeters in the forefoot, which gives it an 8 millimeter drop. I don't remember the weight off the top of my head, but I'll get back to you on that as we go through the week. Let's do it, guys. Let's go for some runs in the new Deviate Nitro. I just laced these things up. The max cushion is incredible, and I can feel that carbon plate in the midsole. It's my feet, I'm like ready to lift off. So let's get a good run in. We're gonna just do a 5K today because I'm running short on time. Today is going to be an exploratory run. I'm going to try to make it around a big portion of Lake Worth. Not all the way around the lake, but around most of it. Should end up with like 16 or something. But for the first part, we're just going to do a warm-up 5K with the homie. You ready? You want to get 5 miles in? Yeah! Check out these Pumas, bro. Big cat running with the big dog. All right, let's have some fun with this warm-up. Dropped off Pecos Bill back at the house, and we are deep into the long run now. Stopped and picked up the hydration vest just because this is a self-supported long loop. It's not a bunch of small loops like an exploratory run around the lake. I'm about halfway around the lake right now, and my feet are feeling great. I'm loving this thick midsole. The Nitro Foam is really cushiony and bouncy at the same time. And another thing that I'm noticing is the carbon plate. It's not only good for propulsion, but it's good for protection. If you're running on crushed gravel, sometimes a larger rock can almost ruin your run as it pokes through that midsole. The carbon plate pretty much stops them dead in their tracks. This is part of the reason I love long runs, exploring new places. I never would have seen this if I didn't just try something new today. Check out these little falls. And you know, that's not much, but it's cool. Woo! That is my longest run since about January, so it feels really good. Of course, my muscles are tired, my feet are tired, but they don't hurt. So that's a huge, huge plus for the Nitro Foam and that thick midsole. We'll talk more about it after I get some food. Thank you so much for joining me this week as I ran in the Puma Deviate Nitro. I ended up with 57 miles in this shoe. I got that 10K half marathon and a 20-mile run in the shoe. I did some 5K recovery runs as well, which were also fun because you can really feel the propulsion of that carbon plate no matter what distance you're running. So that makes it a very versatile shoe. What sets it apart and makes it a long run shoe is that thick stack height. It's got 38 millimeters of stack height in the heel, 30 millimeters of stack height in the forefoot for an 8 millimeter drop. The men's does weigh in at 9.4 ounces and the women's weighs 7.6 ounces. So compared to some of the other carbon plate shoes on the market, it is on the heavier side. But that's not fair in my opinion because those are carbon plate racers. I think this is a carbon plate trainer, so you can't really compare it to the Alpha Fly or anything like that. This is its own category because it's a carbon plate trainer. It's got this awesome PumaGrip outsole, which is just protecting this Nitro Foam, which is a nitrogen infused foam. You can really feel the bounce and cushion in this, which is a sweet combination, in addition to that carbon plate, which gives you a feeling of propulsion and spring-like feeling in the foot. That is something that you might have to get used to because the shoe doesn't have as much flex this way. It's got rigidity and spring because that carbon plate's acting like a lever inside there, which you can feel. A couple of things that I was thinking today on the long run, the width. If you have a wide foot, you'll have to check and see if Puma's making widths because I don't know if this will work for you. Of course, my recommendation is going for a fitting to make sure you got enough space here. I have a little bit more narrow of a foot and I was right up against the side at mile 15. I had no issues, but I did think like, okay, somebody with wide feet here might have a problem. So that's just something to be aware of. I had no issues with it, no hot spots, no blisters. I really like the heel collar they did there. It's a nice minimal design. Sometimes they have an overly plush heel collar, which kind of locks in some heat. This mesh and everything made for a real cool, breezy feeling throughout the whole run. I also want to talk about the lacing system. They did a really good job here. Sometimes with a shoe, it's easy to over tighten your shoes and then you got to stop mid-run and retie. Not here. I cinched this thing down and it was perfect every time. So that's a little thing, but something I really appreciate, because it's just not fun to stop middle of the run and retie because you came untied or because it's too tight. The Nitro Foam and the cushion, all of it was just top shelf, man. I had a great week running in this shoe. Thank you so much for watching Soulmates, and thank you Puma for putting out such a great shoe at a great price point too. Yeah, it's hard to find a carbon plate shoe for $160, so this thing is worth checking out, and in my opinion it's super valuable because it is a carbon plate trainer. You can get lots of miles out of the shoe. It's very durable. Check out that PumaGrip outsole. It's got almost no wear. I mean, it's dirty, but it's not separating anywhere or coming apart. Lots of tread to go for sure. This is definitely something that I'm going to keep reaching for in the rotation as we keep training, y'all. Everybody, have a great week. Thank you for watching Soulmates Reviews. If you have any questions about Puma Deviate Nitro, just hit me up in the comments below, or you can DM us at Soulmates Reviews, and we're happy to, strike up a conversation. And remember, the channel's for you, so we appreciate any and all of your feedback. Thanks, y'all, and have a great week training. I know I will. See ya.